Oh, one guy, he can shoot. The other guy, not so much.
Where we gonna go to celebrate?
Uh,
Thinking Club Shay Shay.
Club Shay Shay.
Club Shay Shay, yep.
Get that stuff out of here.
And although they're very different in many ways, most importantly, they're brothers for life. And they always gonna have something to say.
That's exactly what's gonna happen. You gonna end up like WrestleMania. You gonna be just out. Here we go. Welcome back. This is I Got Something to Say, home of the unmitigated gall. I'm your host, Quaylen Q. Smith, along with my partner, Alan A.J. Ward. Alan, what's happening?
Chilling, man. How you doing?
Doing good. Chilling and maintaining. Same crap, different restaurant. We got two special guests in the house tonight. We got Mr. Sean Martin from Illinois, and then we got Miss Sadie's from right here in Cleveland. How y'all feeling?
Feeling all right.
I'm
Sadie's,
feeling good.
Good. That's what I like to hear.
Feeling
right,
good.
So
Nothing wrong this way.
All right, cool. That's what I like to hear. Let's get down to business here. We got some stuff to talk about. Hot topic in the NBA right now. It seems to be a disconnect between NBA players and then the organizations. Draymond Green weighed in on this topic. Take a listen.
But I got fined for stating my opinion of what I thought should happen with another player. But teams can come out and continue to say, oh, we're trading guys, we're not playing you. And yet we're to stay professional. At some point, as players, we need to be treated with the same respect and have the same rights that the team can have. Because as a player, you're the worst person in the world when you want a different situation. But a team can say they're trading you, and that man is to stay in shape. He is to stay professional. And if not, his career is on the line.
Whew, strong words right there. So let's get it started. Alan, what do you think? Did Draymond have a point, or did he completely miss the boat? What are your thoughts?
Draymond, no, he didn't have a point. I'll just say that. There's, people, they seem to forget that, when they're in positions like NBA players, they make all this money, they have these big old platforms, that you're an employee, okay? You're an employee, which means you have an employer, which means they're above you. There's a hierarchy there. There's headship. They're superior to you. So if they want to trade you or cut you in the middle of a game, while that may be a little unprofessional, especially if you find out during the game that you're no longer going to be there, they still have the right to do that because it's in your contract that they can do that. You signed that contract. Unless you put in a no trade clause and you fought for that, they can do whatever they want because they're the employer. So Draymond, I mean, he sounds like a spoiled brat, and he's not in reality. But that's what I say on my first lap.
Well, strong points. Mercedes, What do you think? You agree with Alan or what?
Yes and no. Like, it would be different if it was like the 15th dude on the bench saying something like that, or not like a bench player, just somebody that wasn't in the spotlight all the time. But it's Draymond, as in somebody who's never in danger of getting traded, whether his stats look all-star or not. Like, that doesn't really relate to you. That's like, it's kind of like when even in the NFL, when players complain about like salary and stuff, it's usually the guys that make like $1 million plus a year and it's like guaranteed money, not the dudes that like are living from game check to game check. So it's like, yeah, I get the point, and he does have one, but it will probably sound better if it was coming from somebody that wasn't in his position, that wasn't all-star. How many championships they got? 2, 3, 3 championships. Like, you're not going to experience that. You're not going to experience it. So why are you fussing about it?
Side.
I completely disagree with Alan. Me personally, I agree fully with Draymond. I do think he should have went about it a different way, because in my opinion, if it wasn't for the players, there would be no team, there would be no organization. So I feel like they should have the most say-so versus the player or the owner, I guess you want to call him. That's all I got to say. The facts are the facts.
Okay, so Sean, I completely disagree with you for a myriad of reasons. But let's start here. I'm going to put this in a real world example because all of us here live in the real world. NBA players, NFL players, these millionaires, billionaires, they don't live in the real world. Let's bring it to the real world. You have, let's go with McDonald's. You know, everybody eats McDonald's. I don't eat that crap, but most people eat McDonald's, right? You see a bunch of employees, people flipping burgers, which they're just taking them out the microwave, right? Making McGriddles and things like that. They are the employees. They're the ones doing the work. When you go to McDonald's, you see them. They make your food. They shouldn't have more say so than their managers, than the owners of the franchise. They're the employees. They answer to them. That's my first point. My second point, and I'll turn it back over to Alan after this. You know, when you talk about a contract, you know, okay, you can look at it, okay, the owners aren't honoring the contract, the GMs aren't honoring the contract. They are honoring the contract because, like Alan said, unless you have a no trade clause, you can be traded. The only way you get a no trade clause in the NBA is if you've been in the league for 8 years, at least 8 years, and you've been with your team at least 4 years and you're re-signing or restructuring your deal. Then and only then, when those two things align, you can get a no trade clause. So you look at these Andre Drummonds. Okay, Andre Drummond's been in the league 9 years. Like his second season with the Cavs, you don't qualify. You look at Blake Griffin. This is what, third season with the Pistons. You don't qualify. So what's the problem? The employers are making decisions about their employees, just like an owner or a GM at a McDonald's franchise can do what they want to do with their staff employees. Alan, get back in there.
You know, Draymond made just a statement. He said, we should be treated as equals in comparison with the organization or the team. No, you're an employee. Like, there's a hierarchy. Now, Rashad, you made a point that without the players, there would be nothing, right? Yep. That is true. But without the owners, there would also be nothing. And to take that a step further, without the owners, all these dudes in the NBA, all these dudes in the NFL, they're just guys that are good. They're just athletic guys that work where I work at Applied Industrial Technologies. They're nobodies. They're not millionaires. Those owners, they were millionaires before they owned the NBA team because that's how they bought the team, and they're going to be millionaires after that. So, like, once again, there's a hierarchy. Like you're an employee. And Quinley, you said they don't live in the real world. I know what you were trying to say. You were kind of making a point there, but they do live in the real world. They just think they don't. Like, you live.
You're right. That's a good point.
Like, there's no, you don't get special perks. Like, no, I can't go to my boss and be like, I demand this. No, I'm an employee. I don't get to do things that on the par. I don't get to do things that my manager gets to do. It's just, that's not how life works. That's not how life has ever worked. That's not how life is going to work in the future.
Yeah, and real quick, to Alan's point, you going back to the whole McDonald's analogy thing, like, you can request certain things from time to time from your employer. That's fine. But you don't go in demanding things and expecting them to they just have to capitulate because I'm the one flipping the burgers. I'm the one that's selling the sandwiches. Well, I don't care. I'm the one cutting your check. Without me, there is no you. I'm the one that has the money. Like, you can't do that. It's just not. Sean, you don't think so?
I do agree with you to an extent. I'm still with. If it wasn't the players, there would be no team. So, but I just wish Draymond went about it a different way. That's my big thing, because he was big on the team publicly acknowledging that they want to trade him, but a player cannot publicly acknowledge that he wants to be traded without getting fined. That's my big thing is, why does a player have to get fined, but the team can't get fined for publicly acknowledging that they want to trade this player? So I feel like it should be equal, either equal or don't fine nobody. That's how I feel about it.
Mercedes, go ahead and get in there because I got something to say.
I kind of agree with Rashad in terms of
No, you don't. Don't say that.
No, in terms of like what he was saying about how when a team announces it, whether it's whatever sport, then it's, that's like a big thing. You kind of want to get the dude, whatever. It's just news. But when the player doesn't want to be there, and it's nothing the organization did or whatever. It's just they kind of just don't want to be there anymore. It's just met with, depending on the person, most of the time it's met with, oh, well, they quit on the team, or they don't, they never wanted to win in the first place, yada yada. Just that whole rhetoric when you don't know why they asked for a trade. You don't know whether it's a personal thing or if something went bad with the organization. You don't know that,
So
but nobody ever questions that.
But see, here's the thing. Go ahead, Shai.
Like, it's all about how you go about it. Because, like, from what I read and can remember, I don't hear Draymond or Drummond saying anything. So he's almost being professional about it, even though the situation is a bad situation. So Draymond kind of made the players look bad in a way. That's why I said he should have went about it a different way, especially how aggressive he was. So it just.
I don't think Draymond made the players look bad. I think the players make the players look bad. And here's what I mean by that. Going back to the whole contract situation, you want out. You don't want to honor your contract. You want out. He brought up James Harden. And I love me some James Harden. Here's my problem with James Harden. Not the fact that he wanted out of Houston. How did you get out of Houston? How did you force your way out? How did you act? James Harden, you got fat. I'm fat. I know about fat, but you got fat. You got fat. You were out there. He didn't sit. You were out there slacking off. So you're out there mailing it in, doing less than you're supposed to, and you're fully capable of doing so. You're not keeping yourself in shape, trying to force your way out of your contract. You're not honoring your deal. The thing about James Harden is this. You look at other players, Kyrie Irving, he threatened to, have surgery when he was here in Cleveland because he wanted to get out. He ended up going to Boston, forcing his way out. The thing about it is you don't cut the check. See, players make themselves look bad when you mail it in like James Harden did, when you get fat on the job like James Harden did, and you still want your full pay. Whereas on the flip side, hey, Blake Griffin, we're gonna sit you. Pistons, we're gonna sit you. Andre Drummond, we're gonna sit you. But here's what we're gonna do. Since we're making this decision and we cut the check, we're going to essentially give you a vacation. We're gonna pay you in full. Cool. But you can't be the employee talking about I want to get paid in full, but I want to do my job. I'm gonna sit back here, I want to do my job, I'm gonna get fat, I'm gonna chill. But my money, I'm gonna need that because remember the contract. But
would you agree that it's still about how they go about doing it then?
No, under the contract. Well, to a degree. I get what you're saying. Yeah, to a degree, yeah. I feel like Alan wants to say something. Go ahead, Alan.
No, but yes, to Rashad's point, and to everybody who's on Draymond's side, I was talking to some people today. They said, you got to be professional about it, even if you're the team. Like, a guy finding out during the middle of a press conference or during the middle of a game, I don't think anybody would agree that that's professional. So I think it's blame on both sides of
I don't think it's unprofessional.
It's unprofessional because
you know why I don't think it's unprofessional. Why? I just think you brought back the real world. Let me tell you something. So I used to work at a company called Buyer's Product. They let me go. I used to work at a company called the Landley Company. They let me go. I used to work at a company called Power Pack. They let me go. Buyer's Product had an hour left on my shift. They came and said, "Hey, Mr. Smith, here's the door." Cool. Landley Company, they waited to the end of my shift. So essentially, in NBA terms, they waited to after the game. Okay, cool. I was at Power Pack. Them yahoos let me go right in the middle of the day. They were probably about 12:30, 1 o'clock, and made one mistake. They said, "You got to go."
So let me ask, so you're saying it's okay for the company at any given time to just say, "Okay, it's time to go"?
Yes. Why? Because that's life.
So then a player can at any given time, can he say, "Well, I want to go somewhere else"?
No, because here's the difference. The employee, because here's the thing.
Hold on. Let me get that. No, here's why. Because once again, that would make sense if there were no hierarchy. If we were all on the same level, that would make perfect sense. Like we're equal. I can go whenever I please, but they're not equal. You sign a contract that says that you're obligated to this team to play for this team for 2, 3 years, 4, 5 years, how many every years you signed the deal for. Nobody held a gun to your head. Nobody held a gun to your head and said, you need to sign this 5-year deal. No, if you don't know what you want to do in life, sign a 2-year deal. But no, you decided to sign a 5-year max deal because you wanted that bread. But then 2 years in, you got Saudi and you wanted to leave. You have a contract, but in that same contract, it says that the team can cut or trade you unless you have a no trade clause, obviously. But most guys don't have that. It says that they can do that. So that very contract that you signed, you gave them the right to do that.
Yeah, like you literally signed up. You know how you say, I ain't signed up for this. Yes, you did. Check the fine print. It's actually not even fine print. It's actually right there in bold. Like there's sections that let's call the conditions section. Literally the condition sections of your contract outline that. You say what up?
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Mercedes. I know you got something to say.
I never liked it, but I get why. Like for example, like LeBron, no matter where he went, like whether it was here or the Lakers or wherever, he always does like 1 to 2 year contracts because like even if he's like perfectly fine with the situation, like nothing's wrong, he's okay where he's at. He always does that. It's like a little back door just in case maybe he gets hurt or something goes wrong and he just don't want to be there no more. He can get out. I don't know why a lot of players don't do that, or like either that or he seems to like be one of the only people that actually reads their contract. So
I definitely agree because you notice KD kind of followed that a little bit when he re-signed with the Warriors. He only signed a 2-year deal versus the Supermax, which I don't know how much it was, and he was able to get out of it. You know, I mean, I wanted him to stay, but he was able to get out of it.
So here's why LeBron and KD do stuff like that. Let me give you a little insight as to why they do that. Because they can. And here's what I mean by they can. And theoretically, everybody can, right? But LeBron, KD, Steph, these guys, they make more off the court than they do on the court. So when you have that much bread on the side that you're going to get elsewhere, I can afford to sign a 1 or 2 year deal, whereas other players were just like, I done had a good season. They offered me 4 years. Let me take this 4 years because chances are I'm not going to be this good. In 2 years,
I definitely agree.
You know what I mean? So it's like, okay.
I get that.
Because like Draymond, now he's a heck of a defensive player. I get it. He's a really good defensive player. But Draymond can't say what LeBron can say or KD. He can't do that because now I understand if he was a great overall player, but I mean he doesn't have clout like KD and LeBron. That's why I wish he would have went about it a different way as well.
Yeah. Real quick, while we're talking about LeBron and this, and then we'll cut this segment here in a second. But I know Alan has something to say about this. So I want to elocute on this real quick. Can we stop this whole? This to my audience out there. I know it's not a huge audience, but for the few people that's listening, can we just stop this? I need you to listen to me. Can we just stop this notion that LeBron started this? LeBron has honored every single one of his contracts. When he went from Cleveland to Miami, free agent. When he went from Miami back to Cleveland, free agent. When he went to the Los Angeles Lakers from Cleveland, free agent. So can we stop this notion that LeBron started this whole movement to where people like James Harden and Kyrie Irving and Kawhi Leonard and the other players forced to go out of town? Oh, he's the one. He's responsible. This is the product of LeBron. Alan?
No, go ahead. You said it perfectly. Go ahead.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, Mercedes.
Go ahead.
People, and like you were saying, we can stop that. That's usually people that either don't like LeBron or is just salty that their team lost to him. But
which is every team,
like him, except mine. But like the whole he started this like leaving thing. Yeah, he started in terms of like free agency, like making big splashes in free agency specifically. Like you could say he made that popular in terms of that. But if you really talk about dudes that just like straight up, didn't just kind of quit and left, KD started that. Kevin Durant started that. That was Kevin Durant that started it. Even if he was like a free agent or whatever, that man straight up left. He just left. Like LeBron did not start this. It was not LeBron. It wasn't LeBron.
I agree on both sides for the simple fact, because I feel bad for LeBron because all eyes are always going to be on LeBron until that man retires. So it looks as if he started it, but when you really look back at it, from far as what I can see, it's really KG that started it. How he was bringing in Ray Allen and all these other players to start with. As far as I can remember, it just LeBron's name is so big, it looks as if he started it, but LeBron definitely played.
All right, so this whole LeBron topic, we're going to save that for another topic. We'll make sure we have you guys back. We're going to cut this topic right here. We thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, turn on the post notice, and check out our sponsors, and please support our sponsors. We'll be back with another fire topic real soon. Catch you later. Booyah!